Hi everyone. Uh, Today we have a discussion on Module 1, that is key enablers for LTE features. In this, first we will see the LTE network architecture. So LTE is nothing but a long-term evolution. So here this LTE network is not the 4G wireless communication standard developed by 3G partnership project. Okay, and this is designed to provide high speed. For example, we can say the 10x to the speed of 3G network. Okay, and for this speed is for mobile devices as well as hotspot and also thing. And also this LTE network will offer a very low latency while comparing with the 3G network. And in this architecture, if you see the diagrammatic structure, we will come to know the main important thing we wanted to see, that is EPC. EPC is nothing but it is a evolved packet core. And why this evolved packet core is designed? So this evolved packet core is designed to provide a high capacity and also all type of IPs, and it is designed to provide reduced latency and also the flat architecture. So what is the use of designing to provide such parameters? So these all things will used to reduce the cost and also it will support advanced real-time services. Okay, now this evolved packet core provide interworking with, that is we will call it as in second generation, that is GRAN, and third generation it is UTRAN. Then followed by this we will see some functions of long-term evolution architecture. And these functions, if we go, it will such as access control, then packet routing and transfer, then mobility management, security, then radio resource management and network management. These all are the functions taken care by the long-term evolution architecture. Then if we coming to this EPC, it has some four important elements, that is nothing but SGW. So what do you mean by SGW? It is nothing but serving gateway, then packet data network gateway, then mobility management entity, then policy and charging rules function. So these all are the basic elements which used in the long-term evolution architectural elements. Then followed by, this is the diagrammatic structure, actually graphical representation. We come to know that it's clearly serving gateway is there, PDN gateway, PCRF. So what are the major elements which is going to do more effective in the network architecture? First we will see SGW. Okay, that is nothing but serving gateway. So what is the basic functions? What are the things this serving gateway can perform? So it will terminate the interface towards the 3GPP radio access network. So already we know this LTE system was deployed by the part of a 3GPP, and also this serving gateway is the physical point between radio access network and the core network. And also it manage the user here, followed by this the user plane connection is towards the serving gateway is there, and the user plane mobility will managed by the serving gateway. Whenever the we'll see the explanation. Okay, whenever the terminals move across the area, that is which is served by different E node B elements, or other 3GPP serving gateway will serve as mobility anchor. Okay, whenever there is a more also other type of, when the 3GPP server will act as an anchor. Anchor is the mobility management will be taken care by this serving gateway. And some of the functions of the serving gateway is packet routing, forwarding, transport level packet making, and inter-operator charging. The next we will see packet data network gateway. So in the packet data network there are specific functions, that is it will controls the IP data services and also it allocate the IP addresses. Followed by that, it will enforce the policy. Already we have seen that PCRF is the policy charging. So this gateway packet data network will enforce the policy, and also it will access for non 3GPP access network. So by the architecture itself, we are very much clear that if the more eNode B is there, the 3GPP SGW will serve as a mobility anchor, so that now the packet data network will act as termination of evolved packet core towards other PDN, that is such as internet, and also we can say private internet IP network and IMS network providing. Okay, and if you see the functions is packet filtering and charging support. So packet filtering is nothing but packet inspection for the application of detection. So these all are about the packet data network gateway. So followed by this, the next thing is the mobility management entity, that we will abbreviate it as MME. Here, this major performance of mobility management entity is user equipment context, authentication side, authorizing, security are all things supported by the mobility management entity. And in tie-up with that, we'll say that signaling and control function also, control function which used to manage the user terminal will be access to the network connection, and some of the assignment of the network. So what are the things control functions are, what are the assignments of the network can be done by mobility management, in the sense idle mode location tracking, paging, roaming and handovers. And also this mobility management entity provides the security function, and this MMA is responsible for selecting the appropriate serving and PDN gateway. And main thing, if you think about this mobility management, is it manages thousands of eNode B element. That is major thing we wanted to keep it in the mind. The last is nothing but policy and charging rules function. So this is nothing but the concatenation of policy decision function and the charging rules function, and this will interface with the PDN gateway, and also it will support the services such as data flow detection, policy enforcement and flow based charging. So these all are about the major four elements, and these are the functions taken care by the long term evolution network architecture. So hope everybody got a clear cut idea of LTE network architecture. Thank you.